Alright, students, welcome back to class. Today, we're going to be having a history lesson on Nitefort Chapter 1. Make sure to take notes on this. There will be a quiz tomorrow. Alright, here we go. Welcome to Horseshoe Island. This island is lush and is graciously being watched over by the Moon Tribe, who dwells inside this moon. Think of the moon as less of Fortnite's Zero Point and more of a tether uniting different universes. Without the moon, a dimension would be detached and possibly lost. Although it might not be holding the island together like the Zero Point does, trust me, this Nitefort universe, these guardians are essential. This island only has a handful of residents, one of them being Nicole, an explorer who is the first person to discover the island and live here. There's also Mayor Humdinger, yes, that guy. He arrived to this island a little while after Nicole, and they worked together to create a small town, Downtown Drop, which of course Mayor Humdinger has control of, being the mayor here. But one day, the big cheese, or as we should say, the big tomato showed up. The iconic tree stump and trashy restaurant owner himself, Tomato Head, was now on this island. But why exactly? He was a wanted criminal. He made it his mission to destroy every other food company if they did not want to join his side. He also just hates a random computer company too. Ultimately, Tomato Head only got Guaco and Little Whip on his side before being found by the military and being forced to flee somewhere else. There is also a pirate ship here, and Carl was the captain, which is a key detail that brings us to Season 2. Angry Vikings surprised the pirates and attacked them back in Season 1. Turns out, they've been here all along, in the Sovereign Sanctuary. These guys attacked ruthlessly for some reason, and one guy randomly decided to shoot a stray cannonball at Tomato Head's hideout, Saucy Secret, which ignited it even though it was made out of brick. Why? It's a saucy thing. Tomato Head was horrified. This fire was burning Guaco alive and his restaurant was going down with him. Tomato Head wanted to extinguish this fire as quickly as possible, so he worked with Little Whip to create a ton of ice. His plan was to create so much ice that it would alter the sea level and flood the entire world, putting out the fire in his restaurant. Tomato Head's plan sort of worked, but he barely miscalculated how much ice was needed, so his whole establishment was gone and Guaco was dead. Also, somehow the pirate ship returned, but with a new captain, Carl. No, his name is Carl too. The other Carl retired. The Vikings and pirates had a truce this time and worked together from now on. After a while, the water ended up receding, and I guess the plants were really happy because whole forests appeared out of nowhere. Oh look, the coral buddies are here. Wait, what's going on over there? Well, this whole time a war was going on between two factions, the Gnomes and the Bears. The Gnomes had sheer numbers while the Bears had technology. The smartest bear of the group, Yellow Bear, had spent seasons creating a machine that would gather sun energy to supercharge the moon and activate it. Their goal was to teleport the military to this island and command them to attack the Gnomes. By rebuilding, the moon was open, and Yellow Bear volunteered to jump into the moon to see what happened. The other bears vowed to follow in his footsteps and summon the military and not leave a single Gnome alive. Also, since the moon was open, random objects from around the place started appearing with rifts around them. And Tomato Head became the leader of the Coral Buddies. But not for long. The army had arrived, with a large portion of their fleet. Flying Fortress was here, loaded with military planes ready to launch and a massive turret mounted on the bottom. And the military's HQ, the organization, was quickly underway. But who was behind it all? Say hello to Ghost, a ruthless military backed by their leader Chaos Agent, a man with supernatural abilities. Ghost was kind enough to follow the order of the bears and begin a siege on the gnomes, but something else quickly brought their attention. Tomato Head. They shifted course and took all priority to capture the cheesy foe. Tomato Head was being interrogated, and Chaos Agent sort of liked the way Tomato Head did things. So he took him under his wing, under one condition, that he doesn't try and kill any more food mascots. Things began to de-escalate now. Tomato Head was now working with ghosts, and although the gnomes were still alive, the wars were kind of over. Up in Research Ridge, some studies were being conducted on the rifts that ever since rebuilding have been here. They wanted to rift in some things to experiment with, but things got out of hand. The rifts brought over an ancient sun tribe where Saucy was, in a medieval kingdom owned by Ares, right on Bear Island. These people were not nice, and Ghost knew that. But right as they tried to attack, they took down Flying Fortress. The people at the organization scrambled to find a counterplay, but the Sun Tribe had just summoned an erupting volcano, which conveniently destroyed their HQ, outpost, harbor, and all of Mayor Humdinger's work on Plunder Pier. And then the Sun Tribe vanished. This threw Chaos Agent into a fit of rage, and he went back to the drawing board, hiding in his own little bunker to make his next move. While everything was dark and smoldering, a chill dude showed up. The Ice King. He came over to help Horseshoe Island and remove a majority of the lava using ice. His intentions were unknown. He made himself known as the Lord of Winter and the Protector of the Infinity Blade. In the meantime, Chaos Agent requested some help from the gnomes and whatever bears didn't get captured by Ares. He wanted them to build a fighter jet and do a straight up kamikaze mission on the kingdom to destroy the castle and free the prisoners inside. The smog finally faded, and the dust from the collapsed kingdom had settled, revealing a tranquil cloud city. The Gnome and Bear mission was successful. Chaos Agent took over the empty tribal treetops and harnessed the power of the volcano's leftover lava to create lava fuel, a chemical that could easily be ignited and used as fuel. But it was also incredibly dangerous. The place that housed this creation was known as the Chaos Machine. Ghost became defunct and was rebranded into the Chaos Organization. Research Ridge was once again experimenting. This time they planted a
Name's Cluster. I have a proposition for you. You know what to do.
Yeah, excuse the absence. Research Ridge was once again experimenting. This time they planted a special kind of cherry blossom tree which grew rapidly into a new Japan-themed biome, which had its own residents and buildings too. Luckily, Shogun, the leader of everyone in the biome, was pretty friendly, and a truce was quickly established between him and Chaos Agent. Chaos Agent also created a lava fuel pipeline to transport all of the fuel to a factory to be sold to people. Cool, right? Wait, where did the testing grounds go? Turns out the testing grounds, a bomb manufacturer company that came in Scientific, had a rift inside it still and, well, got teleported into thin air. Anyways, the pirates and Vikings came back, but Chaos Agent didn't really like them, so a war was started between the two. The moon woke up randomly too, which... this one, let me just make it short. Dreams and nightmares appeared, although it really should be called Nightmare, because the dream aspect sucked. The nightmares had vampires in them, and the moon destroyed voracious views, making the pirates and Vikings leave. They lost the war anyways. Anyways, the vampires' floating islands somehow were real all along and started manipulating the Chaos Machine, which made Chaos Agent say, "Right, I'ma head out." Cause he felt things were only gonna get worse. Before he packed his bags, he set up a nuclear bomb to go off in the future. Anyways, this season is called Superheroes because there are actually some heroes sent by the Moon Tribe. Namely Neon Ninja, who resided in Blossom Bypass along with Shogun, and Tech Titan, an avid engineer who was willing to sacrifice his life to save the island, which was crucial to protect everybody from an impending doom that was certainly unavoidable, coming soon. Bye-bye, Chaos Agent Tomato Head. The vampires eventually got off their little islands and took over a bit. They're pretty threatening, but nowhere near the scale of the cubes. These objects sent by aliens were very dangerous and would spread like a plague. One cube managed to destroy Chaos Agent's abandoned machine. Their ultimate goal was to fuse together into one huge blue cube that would empower the aliens to steal the moon and manipulate it for their own gain. Tech Titan was ready to stop this at all costs once and for all, and the war that would decide it all was on the horizon. Needing any help they could get, Darth Vader from a faraway universe was called in. It was unknown if he would help, but it was worth a shot. These aliens were some of the most powerful forces the Moon Tribe has ever seen. The aliens set up a base named Battle Basin, absorbed their gigantic blue cube, and purged high-stakes HQ, the previous superhero's base next to the moon. The mothership emerged, taking the moon and dragging it away. It has to be over now, isn't it? The ship departed, leaving the entire resistance defeated. But out of nowhere, heaps of alien technology and large UFO parts sparkled through the sunset, crashing down into the ocean and onto Horseshoe Island. What just happened? The mothership was in one piece moments ago. Was it Darth Vader's Death Star? Does this mean we won or lost? No one really knew how to feel, but they moved on anyways. The blue cube crashed back onto the island, and it seemed peaceful now since no one was controlling it. People started using the remains of the alien technology to advance ahead. Neon Ninja suddenly disappeared, left behind these audio logs, and a replacement for the moon was created using a shard of the moon and some sci-fi portal machine. It worked perfectly and acted no differently than the normal moon. Oh hey, is that Tomato Head? Did he just spill Dr. Pepper all over the machine? Just as it seemed like everything was okay, this AI version of Tomato Head short-circuited the new moon and now it won't turn off. Godzilla appeared and started rapping. A bunch of cars crashed, and the Krusty Krab appeared! Vader had to escape in his signature cat ship so he wouldn't die. And oh dear, the blue cube is missing now too. Surely it can't get any worse. Is that a nuke? Chaos Agent's nuclear bomb has went off. Although Tech Titan tried to defuse it, Chaos Agent gave him a long monologue on how he knew this island was no good and that it deserves to explode. So he launched the nuke anyways. And what a perfect environment for Megalodon to show up in a scrap heap perfect for Lethal Company? Anyways, yeah, Megalodon was here to reap the benefits of our island and strip everything barren. You know, just regular Wastelander stuff. This was officially it. Trees were being felled, and this island was coming to an end. People like Big Chuggus tried to recover the economy, but to no avail. People began to flee, including Nicole, the bears and gnomes, and more. And now, the final update takes place 3 years later. A few brave Chaos Organization soldiers were sent back here to retrieve some old files from the remnants of a plane crash. Everything is overgrown, and Horseshoe seemed to just turn back like how it was before. Just without a moon. But at least it wasn't the last one. And that's the story of Chapter 1.
Huh?
You what?